It started as any ordinary Wednesday evening in Willow Grove. The houses glowed warm behind trimmed hedges, and Suzanne arranged her homemade cheesecake on the coffee table. 4 women from her book club laughed in the kitchen, discussing the latest thriller, their voices tumbling with wine and gossip. The suburban safety of it all was perfect, almost stifling. When her guests gathered in the living room, Suzanne did what she always did, played the perfect hostess, watching their faces carefully behind her practiced smile. Later, when they'd all died, 2 suffocating in the locked pantry, another crumpled beneath her own heavy bookshelf, the last left gasping in the dim hallway, Suzanne dialed 911, her voice shaking, raw with manufactured terror. "He's watching me," she whispered. "He said he'd come with the dusk." Her mind flickered, reciting every horror plot she had ever consumed. No detail escaped her. The boot prints smudged on her polished kitchen tile, the torn scrap of denim wedged in the back fence, the note, trembling lines, written in a hand she had practiced for hours, wedged in Anne's clenched palm. "You can't hide from me." The police arrived, sirens haloing the cul-de-sac. Neighbors craned their necks, peering from stoops and hedges. Suzanne sobbed, shaking at the retelling, feeding them her story. A stranger, a faceless figure, eyes black as spilled ink. He had stalked her for months, sending empty envelopes, leaving dead birds on her porch. He knew all their names, she told the officer, and he had come for them tonight. How he lamented that no one would believe her. How meticulous his threats. She described his scent, old leather, spoiled milk, the way he lingered just outside the window. The officer scribbled notes. Another combed the backyard with a flashlight, finding only shadows. As days bled into weeks, headlines flickered across the news. Book Club Massacre, the papers called it. Women shuddered at Suzanne's account, clutching their children tighter, glancing twice at every unfamiliar car. But in quiet moments, when the house was empty and dusk thickened outside, Suzanne sat at her kitchen table, gazing into the corner shadows where the lamplight failed to reach. She knew no one would find the real truth. Her tale was much too clean, but sometimes the silence felt thick, almost sentient, and she wondered if she had spoken the stalker into being. Sometimes, late at night, she would hear soft footsteps pad down the hall. Sometimes, a finger traced slow patterns on the frosted glass of her back door. And sometimes, when she stared into the darkness, she caught the flicker of eyes that were not her own, watching her with patient, hungry longing, as though her story had at last made itself real.